This is a News Channel 36 I-Team special report.
Liquor. From the very beginning in North Carolina, it's been a potent cocktail of money, power, and government control. One that keeps prices up and pays certain people very well.
It's the good old boy network.
For more than a decade, the News Channel 36 I-Team has exposed backroom meetings, whining and dining, expensive junkets, and political deals at the alcohol beverage control system.
The whole ABC system seems to have some real problems.
The result? Resignations, replacements, and now a new state law.
The reporting certainly brought it to the forefront and created a lot of changes.
But there's still more to be done. Bloated budgets, wasteful spending, and questions about the small-town bureaucrats who control North Carolina's booze. Tonight, the I-Team investigates a story of liquor and money to see if you're being bamboozled. Thanks for joining us. I'm Dave Wagner. We're coming to you from Mecklenburg County's Alcoholic Beverage Control Board warehouse. As you can see, it's a big space, and it needs to be. There are 25 government-run liquor stores across the county. Those stores will sell about $100 million in liquor this year. That makes Mecklenburg County the largest locally operated liquor monopoly in the entire country. That also makes Mecklenburg County a tempting target for backroom lobbying. The News Channel 36 I-Team exposed one of those backroom meetings that led to a change in state law. And it all started after we crashed a dinner. Here's the I-Team's Stuart Watson.
Del Frisco's Steakhouse in Charlotte's upscale South Park. Inside, down an escalator in a private dining area. That's where our cameras found liquor sales reps last November hosting dozens of top administrators, husbands, and wives from Mecklenburg County's Alcoholic Beverage Control Board. The chairman of the board, Parks Helms, was there, himself a longtime county commissioner. The CEO, Calvin McDougall, the very people who spend millions of dollars in public money to stock liquor in ABC stores. Also the very people who are supposed to police the liquor industry.
Is it a good idea for the people who make decisions about how much liquor to order to take a gift of value from the people who are selling you that liquor?
We are operating a business just like any other business, and it is important that we have the ability to deal with and work with those persons whose products we sell.
But liquor stores in North Carolina are emphatically not like any other business. In fact, they're virtually unique, a local government monopoly on the retail sale of a potent and highly profitable product.
The system has always involved big amounts of money. There are big distiller interests, big brokerage interests.
John Williams is the chairman of the State ABC Commission, which oversees the local boards.
In the sales and commercial world, the way people are wined and dined and treated is part of the way business is done. But we're public servants, and we work for government entities.
State Alcohol Law Enforcement, ALE, launched an investigation after our report and produced this receipt. The food alone at the dinner cost thousands of dollars. Lobsters, $672. Steaks, $844. Seafood platters, $1,400. And that's not including the alcohol. Johnny Walker Blue, $45 a shot. Don Julio Tequila, $60 a shot. And there were 7 shots, then 3 more. Dom Perignon Champagne, 4 bottles at $1,000. And 16 more bottles of wine at $100 each. Then, of course, there was the automatic tip for a party this large, almost $2,000, for a grand total of $12,700.
Any gift that would have been made certainly would not affect my judgment.
The host of this dinner, sales reps for one of the largest liquor distributors in the world, Diageo. You may not know that name, but you would know Diageo's products: Smirnoff Vodka, Cuervo Tequila, Captain Morgan Rum. Diageo products account for about 1/4 of all of Mecklenburg County's liquor. After the dinner, ALE agents found a seating chart. Diageo's marketing rep, the man who picked up the $12,000 tab, sat next to the Mecklenburg CEO, Calvin McDougall, and directly across from the board chairman, Parks Helms.
We do not buy liquor from any of the distillers or any of the representatives. That's all done by the State ABC Commission in Raleigh.
Not so. The I-Team obtained these checks from the Mecklenburg ABC Board. They were made out directly to Diageo, $500,000 every 2 weeks, more than $1 million a month, signed by the CEO and the chief financial officer, the very people being wined and dined by Diageo.
That sounds like a business relationship to me.
Neil Cooksey is a Mecklenburg County commissioner.
There's a reason they were at the dinner. I assume the vendor was trying to improve their relationship with them to make those checks easier to write in the future. I mean, writing a $500,000 check or $1 million check a month is not an easy thing to do unless you've got the pump prime, so to speak.
The people at the dinner also control where to place the liquor on ABC store shelves. And in retail, shelf space is like real estate. It's all about location. Special displays sell more liquor. Eye level sells more liquor. End-of-aisle displays, more liquor.
They would like to have favorable product placement or more inventory from their selections than their competitors' selections.
I've never questioned my objectivity. I don't think it's been compromised.
Calvin McDougall, the Mecklenburg CEO, denied the dinner influenced him.
Doesn't it play some role in the placement of Diageo products?
No, sir.
So you can...
The products drive themselves, but no, sir.
But 2 days after this interview, McDougall resigned, saying the ethics laws were unclear.
There was a certain functional ambiguity in the directives that we were operating out of.
And the board chair, Parks Helms, submitted his letter of resignation, adamantly denying he broke any rules or laws.
I think there is a great deal of uncertainty and ambiguity about what is required or what is prohibited, and it is something that needs clarification.
State lawmakers and North Carolina Governor Beverly Perdue provided that clarification.
Absolutely unacceptable. First thing I have to do is get my ABC State Board to get a handle on the ethics, the transparency, and actually the behavior of the boards across the state.
In July, the governor signed a new law spelling out that ABC boards and staff could not accept dinners worth hundreds of dollars. It's not a stretch to say the new law was the direct result of the I-Team's reporting.
It really opened a door for the public to see what was going on. And I think that dramatized for the public and for decision makers here in Raleigh just how deep those relationships had gotten and how cozy they had gotten.
A dinner is one thing, but how about this? Mixing business with pleasure at a sunny resort. You paid for the trip. A liquor company paid for a party like no other. And the I-Team found out this was far from the only one.
Do we need to be sending all those people out there? I don't think so.
Stay with us as this I-Team special report continues. We're back now with more of our I-Team investigation into whether powerful liquor interests have bamboozled North Carolina. You saw the dinner that started an uproar, one that showed just how cozy liquor companies were getting with a government board appointed to regulate it. The I-Team's Stuart Watson has been covering this story for 10 years and discovered that gourmet food and good tequila were hardly the only perks being handed out.
From Marriott Grand Dunes, Myrtle Beach. If there was a gathering of liquor control officials, for years it would be held at a resort like this one. A few days of meetings, a few hours each day, hard to tell what's work and what's play.
We are at a new day.
Only this year, that's starting to change. The I-Team first followed the Mecklenburg ABC Board on an expensive junket to Palm Springs, California in 2003. We've followed the dollars at similar events ever since. That year, they stayed at the La Quinta Resort, not to be confused with La Quinta Motels. This place had 42 pools, stunning mountain views, manicured lawns. And here's how they explained the public expense.
What do you want me to say, Stuart? I'm out here on a business conference.
What business? It's the annual conference of the National Alcohol Beverage Control Association, a group of regulators from 19 states that control the sale of liquor. There are sparse official sessions, even including this introduction to tequila, which included a tasting. But as the sun sets, the liquor industry throws a party. And if liquor companies can't throw a party, no one can.
I have not been on any of those trips.
You don't have to go to Palm Springs.
I haven't been to Palm Springs, but I didn't see that it was necessary.
More than a waste of money, John Williams is concerned about the liquor industry buying drinks for the very people who are supposed to regulate it.
I have concerns about the interactions of government officials with commercial interests who are seeking to make a profit through their relationships with government officials.
In North Carolina, liquor is a $750 million business controlled entirely by the government, from the warehouse to the store shelf. Williams' predecessor is state ABC chair Ann Fulton wrote this memo in October 2003, warning in view of the recent negative media attention, specifically the NABCA meeting in Palm Springs, caution must be exercised by brokers and suppliers regarding the extent to which they provide hospitality, a direct reference to the I-Team's exclusive report. But the junkets continued through last year. The I-Team's review of travel receipts found Mecklenburg County's ABC board sent 7 staff and board members to the Grove Park Inn in Asheville for a state conference last July, 3 more to the Grandover Resort in Greensboro, and 3 staff members to the Biltmore Resort near Phoenix, Arizona, all in the name of ABC business.
What you do is a public function. It's subject to public scrutiny.
That's why our cameras were at the state conference in Myrtle Beach this July.
There wouldn't be TV cameras here if this were something we could just ignore.
And the regulators still consider our reporting to be a public relations problem.
Unfortunately, the state's ABC system has received a considerable amount of negative media attention this last year.
But that so-called negative media attention finally made a difference.
This will be the last meeting of North Carolina Association of ABC Boards in Myrtle Beach.
The state's ABC boards will now be meeting in-state, in North Carolina from now on, a move they insist will not hurt attendance.
Wouldn't be at a beach. No, we wouldn't be at a beach, but hey, you know, how many of us out there in the beach anyway? We're here to do business.
And ABC boards are sending a lot less staff to the big national conference / party.
When we sent, say, 100 people in the past, we only sent 15 people this year.
Not only that, a new state law says ABC boards have to stick to the same daily travel budget as state employees.
There's no golf here, no hospitality. It's informational this time.
So while last year's state conference cost Mecklenburg taxpayers more than $5,000 in room and board alone for 7 people, this year only 2 people went at under $1,000. They didn't stay at the resort, and the board's chair even paid his own bill. And as for expensive parties paid by the liquor industry, new ethics policy and state law changed that as well.
Our ethics policy, we can't take a keychain from anyone. So, you know, lunches, meals, anything is off the table.
All of those people are in charge of running North Carolina's liquor stores, but how well are they being run? And are they wasting your money? Up next, a look at the Cadillac of liquor stores, one that cost big money to open but isn't exactly raking in the cash. That and more when Bamboozled, a story of liquor and money, continues. We're back with Bamboozled, the story of liquor and money, and we're joined by the I-Team Stuart Watson. And Stuart, so far you've talked about perks. Now you're talking about waste.
That's right, and you can really tell the difference when you compare Charlotte's system to Raleigh's. Mecklenburg County has 25 stores and Wake County 25, and the populations are very close. But while Mecklenburg sells $18 million more in liquor than Wake County, it returns $1.5 million less in profits to the local taxpayers. So how can Mecklenburg sell more liquor and earn less? Simple: overhead. And as I found out, some of that has to do with business decisions that no ordinary business would make.
This year, Mecklenburg County opened a new liquor store in Morrowcroft Village across the street from the South Park Mall, home of retail stores like Neiman Marcus. The store is also a block away from the Morrison Regional Library, which was facing cuts. So the county found money to open a liquor store when it was closing libraries.
That is stupid. Are we just a bunch of alcoholics? We need libraries.
There are plenty of other liquor stores, ABC stores in the area.
Records obtained by the I-Team show the ABC board spent about $500,000 changing the location from an old Ruby Tuesdays restaurant to a high-end liquor store. The rent isn't cheap either. $186,000 a year, $15,000 a month, more than $500 a day.
That's high dollar rent.
Charlotte City Councilman Andy Doolin.
In office leasing terms, that's a space. That's probably the highest rental space in any of the South Park office buildings.
And there were already 2 liquor stores nearby, Cotswold and Park Road, each about 2 miles away. The question is whether the Morrocroft store would add profits to the whole system or just eat into profits from the other stores.
We will add profits to the ABC board.
I pressed acting CEO Elton Shoemaker at the time for what he meant by adding profits.
There's no question the store will be profitable. The question is, will it maximize profits for the whole system?
Yes, it'll be the return on investment. We will, because it will be located in the premier shopping area of North Carolina.
But fiscal conservatives say when it comes to high-dollar rent on a government-run liquor store,
every dollar they spend on fancy office space or upfit in it is $1 out of profit.
And it's not just the Morrocroft store with high overhead. For years, Mecklenburg County has spent a lot more to lease and build ABC stores than Wake County, Raleigh, the next largest system.
They run a more efficient system.
New Mecklenburg CEO Paul Stroop.
Our rental costs are higher, our depreciation cost is higher, our administrative costs are higher.
But Stroop says there's a reason Charlotte's liquor stores are more expensive than Raleigh's.
Raleigh doesn't have to compete with South Carolina.
South Carolina has private liquor stores, lower taxes, and lower liquor costs for consumers.
We have bigger stores, very nice stores.
But South Carolina has lower gas costs too, and that doesn't mean gas stations in North Carolina are always nicer. So, does a high-end liquor store make Mecklenburg County more profitable?
I really can't answer that.
And for years, the I-Team has been raising this very same question.
Why would you want to make your stores nicer if it meant you made less money?
So what has happened since the Morrocroft store has opened? We checked the numbers, and here's what we found. Sales at the liquor stores closest to Morrocroft have dropped. Park Road is down more than $160,000, and the Morrocroft store is next to last in all the county stores in retail sales. More evidence that government does not run liquor stores like any other business. So if you think about it, Dave, liquor is the one sales position where you don't really have to worry about sales. There's no commission, and there's no real incentive to sell more.
Up next, a system that's fraught with conflicts of interest when this I-Team special report continues. We're back with more of our I-Team special report with what seem like simple questions. How did we get here? How did North Carolina end up with the only local liquor monopoly in the nation? And what's wrong with that? The I-Team Stuart Watson found the answers.
Liquor. It's always been a part of North Carolina. So much so, when NASCAR opened its Hall of Fame in Charlotte, the sport called in the old moonshine runner himself, Junior Johnson, to set up a still.
I got my own now, don't have to have that.
From the beginning, the state has tried to control liquor and to profit from it. So after Prohibition, North Carolina became the only state in the Union to give control over liquor to local politicians.
It's become a very political organization, always has been.
Former Charlotte Mayor Pat McCrory says ABC board positions are a kind of political plum.
And believe me, there are very highly sought-after political appointments.
For 75 years, city councils and county commissions have appointed their own local ABC boards. Until this year, the job brought expensive meals and junkets.
They get wined and dined, rather literally.
And the ABC boards hire top managers who in turn hire their own employees, handing out jobs.
And when you're talking about people who get jobs in the ABC system, some of the salaries are really pretty good.
The intersection of liquor, money, and power has been a potent cocktail, fraught with conflicts of interest. Exhibit A. This July, the I-Team reported the former Mecklenburg CEO, Calvin McDougall, deposited $3 million in the board's working capital in Mechanics and Farmers Bank. McDougall served on an advisory board designed to generate business for Mechanics and Farmers Bank.
It's a good old boy network. If you play ball with the uptown crowd or if you have some influence there, you get your share of the business.
McDougall resigned. And new CEO Paul Stroop says much of the cronyism has been reformed with new ethics rules and laws.
We can't do that now. Ethics policy doesn't allow that, but he got it approved by the board. At that time, it was, they approved it. It was out in the open, not completely transparent. We certainly couldn't do it today.
But the board left the $3 million in mechanics and farmers because it gave them a relatively good interest rate. But there are other examples of conflict of interest. In July 2008, the I-Team reported how then State ABC Commissioner Mike Joyner pitched land he and his partners were developing on South Boulevard for a local liquor store. At the time, I asked then board chair John Shannon, how can this not be a conflict of interest?
Well, it clearly is a conflict of interest. So what you have to do is make sure that we are paying a market rate, that this is a competitive rate, that this is the same amount that we would be paying if it was another developer.
The deal fell through, but the same month there were more allegations of conflicts. The chief of law enforcement for the Mecklenburg ABC, Bill Cox, resigned when his own officers said he went easy on some bars to help out a friend. Cox denied it. The matter went no further. But the cozy relationships, the conflicts, the local politics all lead Pat McCrory to say it's time for a change.
Government ought to get out of the business and transfer the sale of legal alcohol to privately established stores.
And Pat McCrory brought this up when he ran for governor, and of course the woman who beat him, Governor Bev Perdue, is at least willing to consider privatization.
Yeah, what's she doing?
Well, she's asked her ABC commission to fund a study to put a value on the whole ABC system to at least see what it's worth, and that should come out in early 2011.
All right, thanks, Stuart. And we want to know what you think about this. Head over to the News Channel 36 Facebook page to continue this discussion and to share what you think needs to be done. For all of us here at News Channel 36, thanks for joining us, and good night.